This is Internet Business Mastery, episode 101.
In a world where bosses control your life and thoughts of escape fill your mind, where inspiration seems dead and cynicism rules the masses, you have a desire to break free. You feel the need to take control. Now, there exists a place where the secrets of freedom and wealth are given to those who believe. InternetBusinessMastery.com. Free your mind.
Hello and welcome to Internet Business Mastery online at InternetBusinessMastery.com. I'm Sterling.
And I'm Jay.
And we're here to help you escape the 9-to-5 and live the lifestyle of your dreams by turning your life's passion into a profitable internet business, even if you're just getting started today. On this episode of Internet Business Mastery, we have an interview with social media traffic master Don Crowther. And in the quick tip, we share a tool that we use on a daily basis to outline content, plan our strategy, and raise our productivity. We'd like to remind you that if you'd like to get a jump start on creating your own profitable internet business using our proven system, you can claim your risk-free trial membership to the Internet Business Mastery Academy by going to freeaudiogift.com. So Jay, what's been going on?
Well, let's see. I guess it's seminars in the air or something. We've got a couple things coming up. I'm going to be speaking at the Glaser Kennedy Social Media Money seminar, which is taking place early in August, and that's going to be in Baltimore. So if anybody listening, in fact, about the time that this episode goes out, I think I'll be there. So if you happen to be there and you hear this, then by all means, please come and say hi. I always love to meet Internet Business Mastery listeners and community members in person. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
This is an interesting thing that we started with Dan Kennedy, and now you're, what are you, hosting it, emceeing it? What is it again?
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of like the MC of the event where, at the beginning, I'll kind of, Bill Glaser's going to interview me. We're kind of lay the foundation, and then we've got different speakers on specific topics. And then at the end, I'm going to kind of give the wrap up of, okay, how do we take all this stuff and make money out of it? So I'm prepping up my content for that, and it's gonna be good stuff. I'm really excited. I mean, yeah, it's a thrill to think that, yeah, back when all this stuff started, Dan Kennedy was one of the first people who introduced me to information marketing and just to marketing in general. And that's where I first started learning to become a good marketer, was from Dan Kennedy. And I remember going to Glaser Kennedy events and learning lots and getting all amped up and excited about the possibilities of my business. And so it's pretty amazing just to think about the journey here now, a few years later. I guess maybe it's been 5-6 years since let's see, how long has it been? 7 years since I quit my job. And, here I am now a featured speaker at one of their events. So I guess that's one thing you always have to help me with, Sterling, is stopping to go, oh, wow, that's a pretty cool accomplishment, because my achiever's always going, okay, what's the next thing I got to do? What's the next thing I got to do? So I guess as I hear myself say that is, I am very excited about that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Nice full circle with IBM being represented, yes.
Indeed.
Or Internet Business Mastery, excuse me.
Well, and so speaking of which, another event is going to be for the very first time ever. I'm just starting. In fact, just yesterday I went down to start reserving some of the stuff that we'll need for this. The very first ever Internet Business Mastery live event. It's something people have asked us for quite a while, like, hey, when are you going to do something live? When are you going to do something live? And so this is going to be our first foray into doing that kind of thing. It's a very exclusive event. Right now, the only people getting access to it are the Traffic Attraction Formula students. Get a ticket to come if they want. And it's looking, though, based on the RSVPs, it looks like we might have a few extra slots. It is going to be a very intimate, exclusive event. But if we do have a few extra slots, we will bring that to the general, probably to the Academy members first, but then to the general listeners of Internet Business Mastery if somebody wants to claim one of those last spots. I mean, it's definitely going to be a very unique experience because we're keeping it very small to kind of just test the waters with this at first. And certainly we'll never have such a small, intimate thing where, you'll get to be able to do drinks with us the night before and chat, and then, full workshop customized to what the students want. And then the next day, people can do some one-on-one consulting if they want. And, in the future, I imagine if we do something like this, it's going to be definitely a few $1,000s to attend, but we'll keep it a lot more reasonable this time around. So definitely watch the blog and the email newsletter as well as the feed for information about that, because we will open up any available slots for a small charge to the general listenership and Academy members.
Well, and that's going to be like mid-September or something when it's going to be held.
Right.
So it'll be in the next, mid-August when we start talking about it if we have space available.
Absolutely. Yeah. The dates for that, I guess I can go ahead and mention, are September 17th, 18th, and 19th. So a little mixer on the night of the 17th, the workshop on the 18th, and then slots for consulting on the 19th.
More info to come.
More to come. Absolutely. So anyway, speaking of actually the traffic attraction formula, one of the people we recently had come in as one of our faculty, I brought in a good friend and also very smart guy, Don Crowther. I'm not going to, there's a story I want to tell, but I just am reminding myself, actually, I tell it at the very beginning of the interview. So you'll hear that story about Don that speaks to just how well respected Don is when it comes to things like social media traffic, especially, but just as a marketing mind and business guy in general. Don Crowther, a lot of people are familiar with the names like Jeff Walker and Frank Kern and, guys making lots and tons of money on the internet and teaching people about internet marketing. And Don has been an advisor and a friend to all these guys and kind of more in the background just because that's his nature, but very bright guy. And I was thrilled to be able to sit down with him and interview him. Sterling, unfortunately, you weren't available at the time to do this as well, but we wanted to bring part of this interview into the podcast and to the show here because he gave such great information. So this is an excerpt of that interview with Don Crowther. It gives some great strategies. And then the full interview will be made available inside of the Academy. And so if you're an Academy member, you can look in there and find the full extended version of this as well. So I guess without any further ado, let's jump right into the interview with Don Crowther.
And now, the features segment.
Today we are privileged to be joined by Don Crowther. And before I bring Don in here, let me tell just a quick story. When the first time I heard of Don, heard his name, I was at a conference, and it's not an important what conference it was, which is an internet marketing conference. And I showed up later in the day on the first day, so I had actually missed like the first day of stuff. And, but I was curious, like, how did the day go? And asked some of my friends, and I said, so what did I miss anything really important? And like everybody asked, the unanimous answer was, oh, you missed Don Crowther's presentation on social media. And this was like 2 or 3 years ago. So social media was like brand new thing. It was probably, two, maybe even 3 years ago. And that was the first I'd heard of his name. And, about a year later, I was fortunate enough to actually get to know Don. And we, shared dinner a few times, and he shared many excellent ideas with me, and is definitely a guy that many, many people listen to when it comes to social media traffic. So that's what we'll be talking about today, and that is why I invited Don to be with us, because he's in there, he's doing it, he's a voracious tester, and I trust the information that he teaches. So thank you, Don, for joining us today.
Well, thank you very much.
I know you're extremely busy.
Let that be learned. Let's never miss one of those presentations.
I know. Next time I know I will never miss your presentation. And I know you're extremely busy, so thank you for giving us an hour of your time here in the middle of launching a very cool product, which maybe we'll mention at the end of the call. But I'm going to go ahead and turn the time over to you, the topic being how to get traffic with social media, and most specifically with Twitter. So go ahead and take it away, and I'll just chime in as needed.
Okay. So just to let you know, I've got a couple of things we're going to talk about Twitter, but I'm thinking of going a lot wider than that.
That sounds great. Let's do it.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure, because if not, I will rework this as we go along. Let's start out by just talking history for literally 2 minutes. Social media was nothing. Basically beginning of 2007 is when social media started. So 3.5 years ago, social media was just starting. And it has had amazing explosion since then. So tweets per day has gone from 0 to 50 million. If you look at Facebook users, don't go all the way, obviously they were 0 back at that point in time. In August 2008, they were 100 million. It took until April 2009, and so a little less than a year, to hit 200 million. 300 million happened just 5 months later in September 2009. In February 2010, we hit 400 million. And so what happened is each time it increases an additional 100 million in 1 month less than it took before. And if you go through that process, you start looking at that line and you say, wow, this is amazing what